Welcome back to Eternal Sonata,
Oh,
Chapter 5, Nocturne.
alright, again, I know this is a bit of a nitpick, but I think that just naming chapters after Chopin's music when, you know, the context isn't always there
Alright,
is a
Jova,
bit
if you don't
iffy.
remember, last time we checked on the group, remember, Falsetto was still with the others in the graveyard dungeon. So, this is what happened after she learned the death of Clavis. She basically went missing in action, for some reason.
Wait, hold on. When was she informed about Claves? Off screen?
Off screen.
So,
Brilliant.
so does this mean that...
Why did you have to die?
Okay.
Now Jazz will never forget, and he won't ever be able to
That's
get
what
over you.
concerns you?
Does she know that Claves was a traitor?
Remember, Java, we're still milking that
Well,
damn
it sure took you long enough.
love triangle.
Okay.
So let me get this straight.
Just don't think about it for the moment. It's gonna be reprised for later. For now, Beat finally reunites with Allegretto, and Frederick is here too.
I'm glad to see that you all got back here safely.
Oh yeah, where's Viola?
Where is it, Gretel? Did someone
She
get
went back
hurt
to
or
her
something
goats.
on your way
Oh.
here?
Wow, everyone really did just go back home.
Actually,
Yeah. But don't worry, we still planned on reuniting each other. And Jazz decided to pay a visit to Crescendo in Baroque on his own.
Why?
Because, you know, remember, we're supposedly childhood friends, and the fact that Jazz got basically dumped in the middle of his rebel movement, it's not
That
nice.
reminds me, did anyone from Frederick's group ever come across Jazz to let him know? Since, you know,
Yeah,
Baroque
I
told
think
them to?
so.
I mean, again, we don't even get a scene of one of them going to Jazz saying hi. In fact, wasn't
Nope,
Jazz
that's
supposed
the
to
thing. There's a relatively small time skip, but after that, in that time skip, a lot of things happen. And for some reason, the game just glosses all over this.
This is kind of sloppy, just gonna say.
Or more like stuff that was cut because of the rush nature of the game.
The problem with cutting stuff here is like, well, I'm now legit confused as to what occurred. Like, I mean, you know, there's no scene where Viola said she's going back to her goats.
And that's terrible.
She must have been struggling.
I will
with
give
her
it credit
conscience for
though.
a long
That
time because
that
what she was
scene
doing.
of Jazz looking at the palace, that was a really well directed scene. Like, and it the clever narration, the clever direction told us everything we needed to know about what he's thinking without any dialogue. Yeah.
There you
we
go.
weren't sure, but we thought you'd all probably be heading over to Sauce's place.
And what about Jazz and Falsetto?
Oh, now we're gonna tell what happened.
Well, actually,
See,
Ever
wouldn't it
since
make
we
more
learned
sense
about
to explain what
Claves'
was going
death,
on before we
kinda
see those snippets
haven't
of
been able
them
to
doing
find
whatever?
Falsetto.
Yeah,
anywhere.
I agree.
She's gone
Yeah.
missing?
You know that time? You know that
Oh.
5-hour death scene
I
of
mean, we tried looking for her all over
Clavis?
the place,
Maybe we could have
but she's just
done
nowhere to
something
be
else with
found.
that time.
That's the thing, though. The world is not even
I
that
don't know.
big.
Maybe
I'm
she feels
sure
like
you
she's
could
somehow
find her
responsible
easily.
for Claves' death.
So they don't yet know that
Falsetto.
Claves was a traitor, do they?
No, they know,
when we
they know.
couldn't find
Oh,
her,
so
Jazz
they
headed
do
for
know.
Baroque Castle.
Wait, how
Yeah.
did they
He said
figure
he
that
needed
out?
to talk to someone there.
At the castle?
Actually, I
I
don't
suppose that
know.
would
I
most
mean-
likely be
I'm guessing
just
that
missed his
Jazz, seeing her dad,
Who's Prince
made the
Crescendo?
connection.
Okay,
we were
much as
pushed
I
out of the
like, you
water
know,
by a
Shoto
Yeah, I
Joe.
should not be crazy as a
It was this
screenwriter. You
really
told me
cool
these
ship,
this
and guess who
already.
the captain was? The Prince of Baroque himself.
Are you kidding me? While we were all miserable, trudging through swamps and poisonous forests, you guys were off having fun on a pleasure
Life
cruise?
is not.
I mean, to be
life
fair,
life
I
is
wouldn't
not
exactly
fair,
call
We
get.
had a pretty rough time
I wouldn't
ourselves,
exactly
you know.
call
We
getting
even had to
attacked by
fight with
pirates a
pirates.
pleasure cruise.
Isn't that right, Frederick?
Yes. And after the fighting, the prince entrusted us with a message he wanted us to deliver to
Nope.
Jazz.
Oh,
Apparently they
so
didn't,
apparently they haven't told Jazz.
I never would have figured Jazz was the type to have a prince for a friend. But hey, at least this clears up one thing.
So
I guess
why
we know
is
where we're
Jazz
headed
in
to
Baroque?
next.
Baroque. Basically, it's time
Oh,
to
hey,
put
by the way,
the group
B,
once
where did
again
Polka
together
end up?
and head to Baroque to talk to Jazz.
Maybe I
figured
guess
you'd be
Jazz is
wondering
just going
about
to
her.
see a friend then at Baroque.
Yeah.
Well, of course. She's a
But
friend.
that's the thing, Allegretto, since
Polka
he's still
said that she
horny,
wanted
he
to make a
wants to
quick
see
stop in
Polka.
Tenuto so that she could look in on her mother.
Okay, then that means we're gonna have
He knows
to
his
go
chance
there
to
and
get
bring her
laid
back.
is running out of time.
Hold on a minute,
So
Retto. We all agreed that we were gonna meet back here in Ritardando. Don't worry, she'll show up here before too long.
Unless she gets kidnapped.
So instead, why don't we give Frederick a tour of the town while we wait for everyone else to show up?
Yeah, no.
Or maybe there's
Those
some
walking
reason that
animations.
You
Yeah.
just gotta go see Polka right this very minute, huh?
I know that Mega
know what
Man
the heck you're
told us a
talking
lot
about.
back in the, but that
Fine,
was
you
back in
want a
the
tour
8-bit
guide? Then
era.
you got one.
So,
Come on, let's get going.
hey, come on!
Hey!
Like seriously, it was literally the exact same motion from Mystic Quest, basically.
Oh, get ready to see that a lot of Mystic Quest.
That's what I just said.
No, I meant like, oh, get ready to see that a lot in Mystic Quest to anyone who's not yet played that game.
Anyway, by beating Fugue in the last part, our party member in the party level in this case raises up. Tactical time is reduced to 1 second. It's now possible to perform counter-attacks, but I'm not using that much. Armory chains can be used, and basically the counter-attack is used for another button instead of the guard button. If you do that, the enemy time drops to 0 immediately, and this basically gives you an immediate turn. It's very useful, but you need to have quick reflexes in order to properly use it correctly. So I encourage you to just use simply the guard button.
So, in
Oh.
giving Frederick a tour, what, are we supposed to talk to everyone or go
No,
everywhere?
just go around the town. Basically, it's not even that big. But surprisingly, there's not anyone in the bakery where Allegretto beats stole bread for. I wonder. Even the weapon shop is just a shopkeeper. Oh, there's something around the church.
Oh,
Druva, you
boy.
were mentioning something the first time we went
Hey,
here.
what's going on?
Yeah, like having to clear
Why
out the
are all these
basement of
people
something
here?
like rats, dragons, you name it.
Let's see.
Huh? Did something happen?
Someone said they heard a strange voice coming from underneath the church.
Also, that's once again Kevin Clark.
What? Underneath it? Does the church have a basement?
Ritardando used to get attacked by pirates all the time. They built an underground shelter so they'd have someplace to hide in case it happened.
Let me guess, the pirates are infiltrating the
Oh,
very
I see.
shelter. Wouldn't that be
Surprisingly,
ironic?
no.
This church is on high ground, and it's quite far from the shore. That makes it an ideal spot for that kind of shelter.
Oh, how creepy! The shelter must be infested with some sort of strange creatures.
But if
Because
it's
it's such
voice,
RPG.
but if it's
After all, it
voices,
hasn't
wouldn't that
been
mean
used
it's
in
someone
ages.
humanoid?
It looks like the monsters have been,
Sure,
have been
Oh,
increasing in
or
number
it could
lately.
be
Souls of
ghosts.
the people who were killed by the
What the
pirates have come
fuck?
back to haunt this place.
It looks like the monsters have increased in number
Just
recently.
kidding.
Ah! So,
Okay.
Well, that was
Break
weird.
already.
Traditional
I'm sure it's no
anime-like
big deal.
humor,
It's
but
probably
it
just
doesn't
some
work
rats
with this
scratching
kind of
around.
motion
Yeah, okay.
capture.
what was even the point of him kidding
Hey,
like that?
it's you two!
Uh-oh.
But oops, looks like we got busted.
I know them. These are the
With the
brats who've been
xylophone
stealing
theme.
my bread.
What? You're a couple of petty thieves?
We're down here,
so
sir.
instead,
No, wait.
so instead of
There was a
arresting
reason
them,
we
because
were-
apparently this town doesn't really have guards,
Perfect. You have experience with this
so
kind of
instead we
thing,
just
then.
said,
Go
oh, fuck it,
investigate
you're
that
gonna go in the
noise.
basement and resolve the thing.
I agree with her.
I'm
Well,
okay
community
with
service.
I'm okay
Since
with
you've
this
done
for
nothing
Allegretto
but go
because
around
he's a
causing trouble for the
teenager,
city,
kind
you'll
of
need
like
to
so
make
he
up
can
for it
handle things.
somehow.
But Billy's a 10-year-old
dangerous
kid.
jobs.
Tio.
Yes,
It-
he has a gun,
This doesn't look
but
good.
that's not really an excuse.
Remember, boys in JR, little
Tio.
boys
Free to
in.
do it.
Sorry.
Tio, like the
You
old
can
saying
always come
says,
up
if
with
you
some
can't
way
do
out
the
of it
time,
later.
don't do the crime, regardless
Yeah,
of
you're
age.
right.
That's what
Not
stuff
just
like
that.
juvenile hall is for.
Not just
Well,
that, too, but if
what's
there's
it
one
gonna
thing
be?
you should know by this point is little children in
alright,
JRPGs
calm
for
down.
some reason
We'll check it
are
out.
just as
Just
capable
hold
as the
on for
adults.
1 minute.
Hey,
So-
hey, to be fair, that's how it was
It's a
back
good
in
thing
the old
Polka's
days.
not
That's
here, huh?
okay,
If
but
you were
like for
definitely
example,
found
if
out
it's say
about
if it
all the
was
bad
B to
things
volunteer and
we've been
everything,
doing.
but these are the adults of the village basically forcing B to do it.
To be fair,
Like,
Tio, to be fair,
This is not Atelier.
to
Come
be
on.
fair, Tio, back in the old days, you know, in the 1800s and the
There you
early
are, Reno.
1900s,
How
if you were 10 years old, you were pretty much good for what was
And
considered.
there you go.
Oh,
Thankfully,
hey.
some party catches up with us. Salsa, March, and Viola.
Hooray!
Hey, Salsa. You sound the same as always.
When I asked Salsa where everyone was, she said that you were all heading for Ritardando. So we came to join you.
Lovely.
What about your goats?
But then, how'd you know that we were in here?
Easy. We saw you just as you were going inside.
Fair enough.
Okay then.
Well, in that case, perhaps you could all help us out a little bit.
Help you? With what? What are you guys trying to do?
Typical JRPG monster
We're
extermination.
supposed to get rid of the ghosts
Yeah.
underneath this place.
Ghosts.
It's pretty stupid.
Let me
What?
guess, it's a hoax.
Ghosts? But ghosts are
And
scary.
it's actually someone
I
trying to
really
pull
hate
a
But
heist.
this gives an idea to Allegretto.
Ah, so that's why there were so many people standing around outside the church.
I'll see you guys later then. Thanks.
Eh?
Hold on, he's going somewhere with this.
Alright.
Where are you going now, Redo?
Well, with this many talented people helping out, you don't really need me, do you?
That's not fair,
Well, you're
Redo.
kind of one of
You
the
can't
best
push all the
party
work
members
on
in
us
the
and then
game.
just leave.
Ah, I know what it is. He's scared of ghosts, so he's running away.
Yep, that's right. I've been
Totally.
keeping it a secret, but I'm actually completely terrified of ghosts.
Can't you hear how convincing every ghost
And
one
hey,
is?
good luck.
Yeah, right, Phoenix. You
Hey,
deal with ghosts
wait.
on a daily basis.
When he's not
Excuse me,
Phoenix
Allegretto,
bluffing the
but
shit
what
out
are you
of
going to
it.
do now?
Jesus.
To be fair, I'd be afraid of Mia too.
Once you guys finish up here, we'll be getting on the first ship headed for Baroque tomorrow morning. They opened up the shipping lanes now that the pirates have stopped
The
attacking
only
the ships.
thing I'm afraid about with me is that
And
she
as for
might
right now, I'm gonna go get
knock
Polka.
me out with
That
her
way,
breast
tomorrow
by
morning, we can all meet up
accidentally
in the
bumping
park.
into me or something.
Don't
But
be
yeah,
late.
as you can imagine, like, it'll just
See
ditch
ya.
the party to get Polka for himself.
Wait, what?
Well, it's gonna be clear even later.
Dude, dude,
Oh,
I
look
get,
at that.
Ghosts
And I
too.
guess
dude,
the
I
crowd
get it.
just-
You're a
Don't have
horny
time to waste on
teenager,
stuff
but
like
geez.
that.
And I guess the crowd just left.
Okay,
Yeah.
Huh.
it's time
Dude.
to go and get Polka.
Swig it is woody and come
Dude.
for the booty.
Dude, are you honestly telling me that you can't find someone else besides a terminally ill girl? I mean, seriously, are you
Maybe
this
her
desperate?
Maybe wait, and the baker's still not there. Maybe her being terminally ill is a turn on for him.
I guess.
Okay,
Maybe
Pedro,
by
Pedro,
this
again,
time-
it's like what it was said in that scrapped content for President's Rap. I guess there really is a fetish for everyone.
I have terminal cancer.
I call it.
Wow, that just happens to be my fetish.
I call it the Clannad disease.
What do we have here?
But hold
I
on,
mean-
hold on. Allegretto has found something on
Oh,
the
it's just a
shore.
rock.
Didn't we see this rock earlier?
It has a really weird shape to it.
No,
What
there's a thing.
told you
We
about?
we never actually see the rock though. Like, do we?
I mean,
Actually, yeah, we did
I
see
guess
it.
it must have washed up on shore.
yeah, I
This
mean,
is pretty cool, but maybe he's under the impression that she'll be desperate because she's
I'm not much of a
terminally
rock
ill.
collector, but it really is strange looking.
Well, actually, Shira, there was
Maybe I'll
an
show you
Entide
something.
that I once saw that actually had a similar scenario. So.
Of course there was.
Well,
Yes.
you better hurry up or it's gonna get dark.
was it one of those?
Well, Shira,
was it
well,
one of
Shira,
those?
it's like you said in our Fahrenheit playthrough. People do stupid things when they're
Stupid Redo.
afraid of death or
Was
something.
it one of those porns with a plot kind of things?
Well, all of Entides have
Let's
some
just
kind of a
concentrate
plot.
on
No,
what
no,
we
no.
need to
Anyway,
do.
I mean, I
Get
go
going.
legit
on.
plot, sort of like the Saber series.
Yeah.
Like
That sounds
Alfie
like a
from
good idea.
Case, but
Let's get this over
I
with.
shouldn't give names. Whatever.
It was New Angel. It's an old one from the 90s. But
Oh,
Yeah,
by
yeah, I
the
know.
way. Are you
Anyway,
planning on
yes,
joining
this
our
is the
endeavor,
first
March?
time March joined us with the party. She's
Yes,
much
I'll
she's
do my best
much
not
more
to get in the
useful
way.
than
I hope that's all
Sasa because in this
Bringing
kind of
her along
game, her
with us
type
is
of
much
defense,
safer
more
than leaving
defensive
her in the
maneuver
Go-Go Forest
is actually
alone.
more effective.
Let me guess, she's a
However,
support.
she compensates
Well,
she
it's
compensates
good to
this
have
by
you
not
along.
having too many
At least
combos
you're a lot
to
more
work with.
reliable than Redo.
She's
I
more
can't believe he took
well-rounded,
off and
which
left the
means
work to
that
us.
she's useful as a support,
Who knows?
kind of like a character.
Maybe he really was
just
scared
as
of
I thought.
ghosts.
She
Mhm.
also gives a particular buff. Both sisters can give a particular buff with their. And now, by the way, the leader is Pete for this occasion. Salsa gives the shadow silhouette, which boosts the attack, but March instead gives the. Oh, I forgot. I think it's Full Moon Bind, which gives them boosts defense instead. I'm more inclined to the latter because party members in general have already a higher enough attack power anyway, so you need to conserve your HP anyway. Anyway, these are the catacombs of the church. They start fair normally. But soon they will diverge into a series of caverns. The reason why there are monsters here because the cavern, some of the monsters broke the walls of the catacombs,
This floor is giving me Final Fantasy 13-2 PTSD.
Well, how so?
Pedro, come on, connect
The
all
puzzles.
the dots. Yeah, Jova doesn't remember that much. It was one of the puzzles.
I'm pretty sure this is just decoration.
Time to show
there's a mine.
Okay, sure. Time for some
hold on. Time to show a small Easter egg. If you follow the path right here, I think that I mentioned before, ignore the enemies, by the way, for the moment. I'll mention about it a bit later. You follow this long path, and you're back in the secret hideout of Bill Allegretto.
Huh, hey, this is our hideout. I didn't know it was connected like this. Gotta remember to tell Retta later.
Especially because you have, very powerful monsters roaming around. It's a miracle they did not storm the place.
Wow.
Fortunately, Theo, that particular barricade is protecting them, and since it's programmed to be just an obstacle, it doesn't get broken.
Is there any reason why that monster was going down the railroad track like it was a choo-choo train? It looked like it even had a turtle behind it.
It was just his pathway, basically.
Mm-hmm.
So,
it just wanted to be a train for some reason.
So no ghosts, just monsters.
Well, for the moment, we shall see. These kind of monsters are these mechanical pigs. I guess that can be described. Oh yeah, by the way, March is very polite. She will say that to a lot of enemies, including some boss fights.
Aw, that's nice.
But no, she were practically every. Sorry.
There you go. Go ahead.
I love how I kind of wish both Salsa and March had different weapons because in a lot of ways they're just the typical trope of we have the sassy one and the calm nice one. That's basically what they are.
I mean, they're literally
to be fair, the weapon type is the same, but when it comes to actual equipment, they're different. They have their own sets.
As in, it's differently named, or it actually looks different?
Differently named. Well, and also the color. Salsa's chakram are orange, while March's chakras are violet.
Liam, come on, jeez.
And now all of a sudden,
don't get so close to the camera, Liam.
Rondo is reporting to Waltz about Fugue.
Wait, wasn't she already reporting to him?
No.
In the last cutscene.
Now she's reporting about the glowing.
Say they perform their jobs perfectly.
The Agogos only glowed when they were around that girl.
Which means she's the
If we are
chosen
to get a
one.
hold of them, we'll need to find
Yes.
some way to lure the girl to us.
In any case, it appears she can use magic, which means that she doesn't have very much time left to live. Rondo, I want you to bring her to me, and you would better do it before she dies.
Understood. Locating the trail of one little girl should not be too difficult if I ask in Ritardando.
But she doesn't live there. Then again,
Well,
I guess.
she sells
Then
flowers
again,
regularly there.
True.
Basically, this means that Rondo is on the trail.
Okay, I mean that
So
was.
we should expect her at some point.
I'll admit though, that felt like a weird place to have that cutscene. I mean, okay,
Trust me,
it's
the
not-
game. Well, you may have not noticed that much, Jova, but the game is filled with this kind of pacing.
I mean, it's not the worst kind of pacing, but it is giving me a bit of knack vibes.
Also, yeah,
cutscenes.
these particular enemies are these floating narwhal ships. I have no idea.
Narwhals swimming in the ocean. Those guns.
There you go.
I'm surprised how
Jova.
strong you all are.
Wait, so it's narwhals, but with a sea serpent on top of their heads.
Yeah, they're a mixture between narwhals and plesiosaurus.
You know, that kind of makes it look awkward, considering as how
Anyway,
the nose of a
here's
narwhal
the
looks like
thing.
it's.
Here's the thing. If you don't remember, the Pirate Papers mentions about these 6 pillars. So while checking, we see that there is a prayer on each pillar. So by reading it fully, we see what the full message is. Dear Lord, as I kneel before thee, see, if you do hear my prayer.
We, the pirates, gave our lives to defeat the robots on Robot Pirate Island.
Please hear my prayer. Oh, actually, that's the last one, so go here. Please banish the blue light.
Well, blue light is bad for your eyes.
Please hear this prayer, please hear my prayer. So the important thing we need to get in this message is banish the blue light.
Whatever that means.
Hold on, by going back to the church, if you don't remember, there are a series of blue lights. So let's see where there is not a blue light, like here.
Huh? This is the only place where a blue light isn't shining. I wonder...
By searching this particular bench, very thoroughly, there you go.
There's something stuck on the back of his pew. Tell me, my wine buddies.
Yeah, what?
Dolce's skin is so smooth, it makes me jealous.
That's gonna be a password to say later on. Basically.
So, I was right, it is a message left by pirates.
Yep, it's explained. The church was also attacked by pirates repeatedly, and the people took refuge in the basement.
So one of the hostages literally wrote a note complimenting one of their captors' skin. Did they just end up having the hots for her?
Well, this is more like a puzzle that's not puzzle, a line that's served for the next part specifically. I think.
It's foreshadowing, isn't it?
Yes, Pedro?
These pirates are really bad at this, though. Like, that was a really generic prayer.
Well, okay. From what I can... Okay, it's hard to tell if it was written by the pirates or one of the hostages of the pirates.
No, I think it was written by one of the hostages, but the pirates kind of took this because, remember, once we'll get to the person who this message needs to be delivered, we already met him in a previous part, Jova, if you don't remember. But it means that the pirates have some kind of secret black market somewhere here in this world, and thus it's most likely that one of the hostages was tied to this, and so left a message for anyone who was also in cahoots with the pirates, just so they could, understand this kind of as a sort of secret code.
Makes me wonder how old Dolce is, since they kind of hint that this happened a while ago.
Well, we don't know, and it's for the purpose of a side quest anyway, so... Anyway, we're almost at the boss. This dungeon is not too long, but again, the enemy placement is a bit cramped, so you need to maneuver around. There we go. Alright, Jova, time to meet the so-called ghost of the boss of the...
There it is. It looks like that's our ghost.
It's floating radish.
Didn't we face an enemy like that before?
No, he's a first-timer.
Point for creativity, I guess.
So, does it make voices?
Kind of.
What? That's it? If it's not a ghost, then it's no problem at all.
Yes, Elsa, we know that you're afraid of ghosts. Shut up.
Actually, is also afraid of ghosts?
She mentioned it before.
Huh, I guess at least she's honest.
Viola is particularly useful in this fight because of her bow ability.
And the head is an easy one for the headshot.
Yeah.
Supernova!
Yeah, I think I didn't mention this. Once you build 24 at least combos, before doing a special attack, the character will say like a pre-attack line. Something like what Salsa just said.
I'm sorry. I call foul. Supernova was not nearly as long as cinematic as I remember it being. I want my money back.
Sorry, Jova. It looks like we're doing this just to finish the boss. Literally exploded.
Okay, that was a bit more like Supernova. So... Okay,
anyway,
then.
time to check on what Allegretto is doing instead.
Oh, okay.
Oh, we just finished a fight.
Huh, so this is Polka's village. Country towns don't get much more laid back than this.
Fuck you too, Van.
I can't tell if that was a compliment or just an observation. Or a stereotype.
Maybe both. Anyway, before going to Polka, Allegretto will talk a bit with Solfege. It's you, Shiroi.
Oh, good evening.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I did basically maybe I did too much.
What brings you to our village at this time of the night?
Well, hello. I'm looking for a girl named Polka in the middle of the night.
In a village that I'd never been to before, didn't even know where it was.
Do you know the way?
I see. So then you're one of the people that Polka has been...
Yeah, traveling, whatever.
How did you...
It's nice to meet you. I am Solfege, Polka's mother.
Oh god.
That's not answering the question, but sure.
AKA the guardian of anything...
Just know that you're talking to Polka's mother.
AKA the guardian for anything beyond first base. Nice to meet you. I'm Allegretto.
I know it must be inconvenient for you sometimes, but please look after my little girl.
See, it's okay. She's okay with it.
Yes, I'm sure he'll do well to look after her.
Oh,
Please
he's
take care of
definitely
her.
looking after her. Oh, no. She's the one who looks after us. Wait, what?
With the healing magic.
I get that, but, you know, the way you describe Polka, you think she's the motherly figure of the group where, if anything, wouldn't that be more so Frederick and Viola? Ah, well.
That's the thing. The age difference is very scrapped. Again, lots of things. The kids are doing a lot of adult things, and adults sometimes they just don't do anything in order to prevent the kids.
How old is Polka?
14.
Oh.
Yeah.
I mean, the thing is, like, well, it's not just that. It's like, well, Katara is by no means the oldest of Team Avatar, but she's still the one who acts the most motherly. The thing is, like, well, I wouldn't say Polka's really been the one who's held the group together much. So, I mean, sure, she's the catalyst that's brought the group together, but the motherly one...
Hold on, Jova.
Yeah,
Polka's
talking
illness.
about the...
Yes, but Polka's illness is a little bit different from that of other magic users.
Oh!
Of course it is.
Let me guess, she has super cancer.
Jova, it's the way you say it sounds way more awesome than it should be. What's your superpower? Super cancer.
Jesus Christ.
Anyway, she's asking, what our stars are.
Wands made by the Wizard King?
Wow, I think I remember that being conveniently mentioned once by your daughter.
Isn't that more Star Wars?
Astros. You mean those
both
things
of them
in
were.
fairy tales? They totally don't
Yes,
exist.
many believe them to be the stuff of fairy tales.
Religion is lame.
Thing about rumors is, they're often true.
But Astras are quite real.
Well, shock of all shocks.
They always are.
Yeah, the 21 grounds and shit.
We all hold a jewel within our hearts.
I don't. So...
Also, you just said it before.
How do you know, Pedro? You haven't reached into your heart.
That's a claw.
I'm pretty sure if I had a jewel in my heart, the blood circulation would be...
Therefore, it cannot be disproven.
Polka has an Astra that shines brighter than anyone else's in the whole world.
Of course.
Oh, she's our special little girl.
She's Jesus.
Almost literally.
I mean, I guess to
But
be
now
fair...
all he's thinking is I'm gonna get laid with Jesus.
To be fair, this is inside Chopin's mind, so I guess I can see why Chopin would, you know, put his...
Well, actually, you're right. That actually makes sense. It actually makes sense, Chip, because there's kind of this anti-subgenre of goddesses who come to Earth and they because they fell in love with a human. So I guess that could work.
And someday she will sacrifice her life to protect the one she holds dear.
I wonder.
It's actually... Well, wouldn't it make more sense for it to be Frederick, seeing as how she spent more time with him?
We'll get to that, Java, don't worry.
There's no way I'd let her do something like that.
I don't wish to lose her either.
To answer your question, sure, I think it's 15 or 16.
But I don't think we can fight fate.
Ragnarok, there is... Sorry.
Who cares about fate anyway?
Oh my god, Allegretto is turning into Fang. No! Allegretto, no!
Thank you, Allegretto.
For being a fedora tipper, come on.
What? Thank you for what?
You should be able to find Polka in the flower field.
Okay, it's phrased badly, but she's okay with the fact that he has the courage and the quote-unquote good heart to protect her daughter. Here's the thing, lady. If you knew what Allegretto's circulation, blood pump situation works, you will probably regret those words.
He reminds
and now,
me.
hold on. This is one of the major...
They're both too young to be getting
This
laid.
particular cutscene was one of the ones that were heavily changed in the PS3 version. In the Xbox 360 version, this dialogue would be very generic. Allegretto and Polka just talks a bit about the world, and that's literally it.
Yeah.
Here, it's more elaborated and serves to reinforce their shipping, basically.
Also, Shiroi, as we've already discussed, we don't really have much time on our hands, so we have to skip a few hoops.
Wait, we have a time limit on our hands?
Oh,
Oh, wait,
no,
that's...
the way the developer...
Polka's illness.
Oh, well, yeah, that, but aside from that...
Don't worry about those guys. I left them with a really important
You know,
job
wouldn't
to
it have
do
been
back
funny
in
if...
losers.
You know, wouldn't it have been funny if they actually ended up dying because he wasn't there to help them with that?
Allegretto doesn't really miscalculated this one.
Not only that, but... Okay, maybe if Beat weren't amongst the group, I'd understand, but again, aren't he and Beat supposed to be kind of the, well, not exactly brothers, but you know, the very two close ones?
Very close friends, yeah.
Yet he seems okay to leave Beat in a heartbeat just to meet Polka.
Wow. From way up here, it actually looks really beautiful.
Aww. Why doesn't it sound like that whenever we're
Yeah,
there?
when you're down there, it's all cluttered and noisy. And the
Not
streets are
really,
dirty.
there's not that just much
The
people
reality
around
isn't
it.
nearly as peaceful.
NPC limitations.
But I guess this is how you see it all the time, huh?
Get it, guys. Everything
You
looks
gotta
different
admit,
from a
it's
different
not too
perspective.
It's strange. I seem to remember the view being much more beautiful when I was younger, even though there weren't nearly as many lights then as there are now.
Oh, really?
Oh, right, we're about to get this. I think we already... That's the thing, I think the game already talked about what it's about to
yeah.
talk.
Of course. I know I used to look prettier.
Why?
You do?
Take a look at the sky.
Oh god, a star just went out. The Heartless have consumed another world.
Yes.
The lights from the town weren't so bright.
In
I
fact,
bet
that
you could
shooting
see
star's
way more
probably
There you
Sora
go,
going
Java.
over to
We're
Traverse
doing this,
Town.
We're doing this again. The fact that the towns have artificial lights means that people cannot see the stars anymore.
Oh, boo freaking who.
I understand that it's not really poetic, but that's the thing. People need the artificial light to survive and work by night. It's not like we're doing this to spite the planet or anything.
Not only that, I hate when this gets used as an environmental message when, oh
Because
no,
at the end of the day, it's not really damaging the planet in that sense. Yes, we are not being able to see the world as we used to, but I don't know, it's just the way it's phrased. Compared to stuff like, you know, gas poisoning, that's actually a much bigger threat anyway.
Never mind the fact that, you know, even when you're out in a city, you can easily just, I don't know, vacate out of the area if you want to see the stars better. And yes, I get it. There are some areas that just unfortunately don't get to see the stars that much, but that sometimes is because of the clouds.
You really think so?
Like,
But anyway, she said that she's very grateful of the fact that she embarked on this journey and the reason why she did. But Allegretto is not really, you know, still that on board because, like what Per also mentioned, the time limit of her disease.
I mean, it's fine and all.
Granted, what else does she have to do, you know? I mean, instead of trying to help people.
What?
You know, don't be afraid to speak up about the things you want to do and the places you want to see.
True.
But I'm fine, Allegretto. Being able to travel around with all of you, that's enough for me.
Why do you say things like that? You may not have that much time left to live.
Awkward.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I just...
No, it's okay.
This is all so
And
frustrating.
Allegretto doesn't really know how to handle
I
things.
don't want to let
Fair
you
enough.
die. But what the heck
Again,
can I do?
it's kinda what an angsty teenager would probably feel at his age still.
Okay, this is definitely a better scene. Like, well, okay, scenes like this we could use more of. I mean, it's not perfect, but Allegretto actually trying to help someone,
Again,
even if it's
Jova,
in a
it
flawed
really
way.
shows the difference between the scenes that were present in the original game and the things that have been reworked for the PS3 version.
Although we kind of have an issue here, seeing as how they didn't quite go the entire distance, so we kind of have a half and half sort of deal. So
yeah.
That's it.
That's why the game still suffers on a lot of occasions. Hold on, Jova. We're about to get...
Maybe I should just jump off this
Pay very
cliff
attention
right
to
now.
this scene.
Then maybe a new life would be waiting for me. A life without sickness and fear.
Ah, the theory of reincarnation. Oh!
What was that?
No!
What's that foreshadowing?
Gee,
Watch out! That step's a doozy.
Well, it's coming, Jova.
Oh, that last step was a doozy.
Still worth it.
Yeah.
What's the matter, Allegretto? You look so shaky.
Gee, it's all because...
all of a sudden
guys,
just saw a flash.
not just that, I don't know why it's so common. I know that it's very poetic, I guess, but I don't know why it's so common in media, like animes or video games like that. All these people standing on the edge of bottomless pits. If you've been in one of those locations in real life, even if you don't suffer from height, it's still very unsettling to just stand on the board there.
But don't you see Tio standing on the edge?
Anyway, hold on, important. Remember the special rock that Polka had in the pirate ship? She's like, okay, now I'm gonna separate myself from that.
Oh, and let me guess, it's gonna resonate with the rock that Allegretto found.
Hold on. You remember what shape was it, right? That was way too big of a launch.
What did you throw?
My special treasure. It's just a rock with a strange shape. But it's the perfect thing to take my place, don't you think?
I guess. It's symbolic. Alright, you need the time, Shiroi?
No, I'm
That
fine.
was your treasure?
Okay.
Actually, that reminds me. I found a
So
rock with a
basically,
weird
Allegretto
shape
takes
to
these
it at the
opportunities,
shore
like,
by
okay,
Ritardando.
then let's make a new kind of, promise
Here.
with this rock that I found.
Aww,
But,
Kingdom Hearts vibes.
It looks very similar, just a bit rusty.
Hold on to this one in place of the one you threw away.
Well.
Besides, I'm sure this one is much more
Remember,
unusual.
this is one of those
Look
scenes
how
where
weird the
Frederick
shape
is not in. If this is his dream, why are there stuff like glitches in the Matrix?
But, don't throw this one away, okay? After all, it's the first gift I've ever given to a girl.
Oh, it's his first time.
So cute.
Oh my god, that's right,
Well,
Magatomachi.
guess I'll see you tomorrow morning in the harbor. Don't be late getting to the ship.
Now Polka is gonna basically tell what the audience may have not yet
What
caught.
does this mean? Could it really just be a coincidence?
It's the exact same.
Really
rock.
makes you think.
I can't believe there are two rocks like this with the same strange shape.
You were so close.
No, this is definitely the exact same one.
Huh.
But
So-
the thing,
been mine
this is
forever.
rusty and
There's no
consumed,
way it could be
and
wrong.
Allegretto found it the morning on the beach. But
The
Polka
weight,
threw
the
hers
feel,
just
everything
now.
as I
And it
should.
would have had to have
So-
washed up on the beach, so oh my god, time travel!
But that means that Allegretto
Maybe,
somehow
or
picked it
maybe
up on
there's
the
something
beach
even
before
more
I threw it
beyond
away.
that.
Let me guess, because Chopin's getting all the more sick, he's getting dementia.
This
That
is
one
where I
wasn't my
really
treasure
okay,
because it was
game. You're
unusual.
trying a
It
bit
was my
too
treasure
hard. I
because
mean,
I
you don't need
received
to
it from
throw this
someone
kind
I
of
love.
this kind of stuff.
I don't
in.
know, this is useful for understanding the true nature of the
giving me a
word
rock that
itself,
has the
and later
exact
on
same shape.
we'll get
Does
even
that
clearer
mean-
clues. I get that at the end of the day it's
A treasure that I
weird
received
when
from
rather
someone
than
I
just
love.
picking one of the sides that are presented, like this is
treasure
real or this is not.
That was from
But I
Allegretto.
will still commend the writers for finding like a third option out of all of this.
Again,
And
Mike.
here's the place, the piece, Nocturne.
Again,
Another
Mike.
one of the most famous. Yes, Joe?
Again, my guess is like, well, this has to do with Chopin dying, so his mind is deteriorating.
We'll see, Joe, don't worry. This is a work composed around 1830, when Chopin was 20 years old. In November of this year, the November Uprising took place in Warsaw, and Chopin left the country just before the... This piece might have been one Chopin composed prior to that, while he was still in Warsaw. Chopin himself escaped the fires of the November Uprising because he was in Austria. Remember of the composing the waltzes for the nobles. But many of his family members and friends remained in the chaos of Warsaw.
Uh-oh.
And yeah, you can imagine where this went.
They died, didn't they?
Sadly.
Wow.
As a Polish citizen, Chopin had wanted to stay with them and fight. Basically, this is another component, Chopin's frustration of him wanting to help his comrades. Remember, he's extremely patriotic. He must have been frustrated by his inability to do so. And remember, Chopin was even very frail of constitution, so really, even in necessity, really couldn't have helped military-wise. It is hard to imagine that Chopin could have written so sweet a melody while experiencing such emotion.
Well, he needed something to cheer himself up.
Music was everything for him anyway, so yeah. From this composition, we feel something that conjures an image of Chopin's art as peaceful and fulfilled. Perhaps that reason lay with Konstancja Gladkowska, a woman from whom Chopin had a secret affection, and I think it's the other girl that is currently in the room where Chopin is dying, but don't quote me too much on that. I need to
So it wasn't even...
Konstancja attended the same music school as Chopin and was training to become a singer. Chopin was unable to confess his love for her, and spent nearly a year feeling this unrequited love.
Let me guess, he didn't want to get hurt after what happened with George.
No, this was way before that.
Oh.
We're jumping the timeline a bit, kind of like in Beyond Two Souls. Two of them suddenly grew close just before Chopin left Warsaw. Remember, Chopin met George Sand in Paris while he was there after he went to Vienna. They performed a piece together from Rossini's musical La Donna del Lago, which means the lake's woman, to great success. Constanzia's voice blended with Chopin's piano and reverberated through the concert hall. Keep those in mind for also the end. It must have given Chopin a feeling of connection to Constantia, as well as a dream-like experience that he never wanted to end. Chopin is called the poet of the piano.
I can imagine why.
Well, out of all the composers, he was the one using the most that instrument. But if we look inside his art, he was just a normal 20-year-old young man. Yeah, sure, a 20-year-old man who managed to compose these kind of things. Again, what am I doing with my life? Perhaps Chopin was simply more skilled at expressing his true feelings through the piano. Just like all major artists, basically. There you go. And the next, before cutting to the next chapter, we basically have the party before meeting Jazz United with plus March. We'll jump the ship back to Baroque.
Oh, goody!
I don't really hear anyone over the water again, though.
Hey! Polka!
Can you hear me over the water?
At this time, we're actually yelling at each other, so it makes sense this time around.
Well, what have we here?
Please shout. Keep shouting.
Yes.
Chopin.
I don't know what you're
You shipper on deck.
He gave them a sign to answer.
Shipper on deck.
He's literally a shipper on deck. And wait, I don't see any lifeboats.
Just ignore that.
Listen, instead of dwelling on the past,
Yes.
it'd be more constructive to think about our next move.
Bluffing is always sad.
Yes, of course.
That reminds me, who's Viola
He's
supposed
definitely being typecast.
Viola's voice actress, I mentioned this, let me check quickly before the part.
Actually, I meant to ask, who does Viola represent from Chopin's life?
I think I told this already. Basically, she's the one who has gone the most without the fan actually understanding. But basically, without this is not explicitly told. But it's basically a representation of Chopin's not necessarily patriotism, but the idea of the countrysides of Poland in general. She represents the ideal of the standard Polish citizen living in the fields, in this case, you know, having the goats and everything.
I guess.
And being a civilian subjected to the revolution.
Ha! Weird. She seems quite resourceful and battle-hardened, all the same with just her bow and arrow.
Well, that's because she lives in the wild, basically. So, yeah, hunter skills.
How can we ever know what is truly right?
No, Gabe, please.
Strange.
If you don't have a clear answer, don't have this
there you
sort
go.
of needlessly
Chopin himself
complex.
admitted that he doesn't know what the fuck is going on.
Yeah.
So basically, it's just
for
wait till
early-
the ending.
Again, he's just, at this point, he's just rolling with this and see where it's going.
As for earlier, I don't know. Like, it's not that it's bad or anything. I just think it's just one of those cases where the writer is just getting Polka and Allegretto together just because, not really because it actually benefits the story in any meaningful way, honestly.
Anyway, see you for the next part when we get back to Baroque.
See you later.
See ya.